But it's. Well, it is a year, so you get higher. Yeah.
You're good? Okay, everyone will rise, we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance together. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, welcome. Couple of items, if you could silence your cell phones, please, and your watches. Our meetings are public and recorded. This is a business meeting. We ask everyone to conduct themselves in a professional manner. Our city code allows for comment up to 3 minutes, and for best sound quality, please pull these microphones down and speak into them. So with that, we'll call the meeting to order at 6 p.m. and kick off with roll call. Councilmember Parsons. Here. Councilmember Hebert. Here. Councilmember Mueller. Here. Councilmember Honda. Here. Councilmember Devon. Here. Councilmember Neboy. Here. Councilmember Dojan. Here. Councilmember Gill. Here. Okay, we have a quorum and we'll conduct some business this evening. First item, I will call for a motion to approve the financial statements as found in your packets.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on that? Roll call voting with Parsons.
Hey.
Okay, motion carries. Next item, I'll call for a motion to approve the estimated and listed bills in your packets.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and second on that. Any further discussion? Roll call with Hebert.
Hey.
Motion carries. Next up, does anyone have any additional bills to consider this evening? Hearing none, we'll move forward. Any correspondence, public guest comments, anything out there? No? Okay. We will move on to the consent agenda. I do want to make one note. There was one item we didn't bring forward, and that was a conference on April 10th that Jill was going to attend. She's not able to, so we saw no reason to bring it forward to approve it. So just that came from committees, but we're not moving that into this consent agenda. So with that, I'll recap the consent agenda. Item A is to approve city council meeting minutes of March 2nd. B, approval of elected officials' annual salary, which was option 3, effective with newly elected and re-elected officials in 2027 and 2029. Side note, we'll deal with ordinance 1578 later in the meeting. C, approval of planning commission stipend review as presented, effective after the April 6, 2026 city council meeting. D, approval of a $20 contribution in honor of National Volunteer Month for each of the 30 members of the Parks and Rec Committee, Economic Development Commission, and Planning Commission to the Community Foundation of Redbud for a total of $600. E, approval to pay $75 per person for any city officials, including department heads, to attend an annual chamber dinner. F, approval of ordinance number 1574, selling Redbud Business Park lot number 30 to Cameron Meath of Evergreen Lawn Services LLC for $29,000. G, approval to allocate video gaming dollars for March and April 2026 to City Hall Lighting Project and May 2026 dollars to the Police Department. H, approval to move forward with ITEP grant planning. I, approval of annual CPI increase of 2.7% for all full-time employees effective the first full pay period in May. J, approval of annual CPI pay increase of 2.7% for all part-time employees, excluding crossing guards, co-op students, and pool employees effective with the first full pay period in May. A, approval of ordinance number 1575, towing zones. L, approval of ordinance number 1576, drop-off/pickup zones. M, approval to advertise for permanent streets program project. N, approval of resolution number 26001, an amendment with utility gas management after review by the city attorney. O, approval to join Illinois Public Works Mutual Aid Network not to exceed $100 per year. P, approval to add a written appeals process to the utility bills ordinance. Make a side note that ordinance 1579 will address later in the meeting. Q, approval of IMEA Annual Conference and Trade Show training request for Daniel Kester on May 15th, 2026. R, approval of resolution number 26002, Municipal Housing Authority. S, approval of ordinance number 1577, changes to the Monroe-Randolph County Enterprise Zone. T, approval of Farnsworth Group proposal to design a master plan and write an OSLED grant request for Lincoln Park not to exceed $12,300. Q, approval of Bob Shoemaker's bid for mulch cleanup and plant replacement at the splash pad / butterfly garden. Does anyone want any of those items pulled out and discussed separately? Okay, hearing none, I will entertain a motion on consent items A through U.
So move.
Okay, any further discussion? Your motion is second on that, so. Voting starts with Mueller.
Hey. 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 Hey.
Thank you, motion carries. Next up, we'll shift into the reports of the evening and kick that off with finance.
Okay, no insurance CDs at this time. You guys see in your packet, ordinance, 1578, elected official salaries. Means we just voted, so we approve that. I would call for a motion to approve the ordinance.
Y'all need a motion for that.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second on ordinance number 1578 for elected official salaries. Any further discussion on that? Roll call with Hobbit.
Hey. 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 Hey.
Okay,
Okay, motion carries. Anything else from finance?
no,
Okay, we'll move on to personnel.
All right, Mayor, the only thing I have is, printed president list out, go through the bank loans for issuing municipal security on April 16, 2026. Make a motion that we approve that and not to exceed $99.97.
Motion, can I get a second?
second,
Okay, motion and a second for Liz Cowell to attend the IGFOA bank obtaining bank loans versus issuing municipal securities on April 16th in Edwardsville, not to exceed $99.97. Further discussion? Roll call voting with Demond.
Hey.
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 hey,
Hey.
Okay, motion carries. I think that's it then.
That's it.
Okay, public health and safety, anything?
Nothing.
Okay, cultural, anything?
Nothing here.
Okay, public works, a couple of items on the public works.
First item is a Volker proposal for easement, legal descriptions for proposed sidewalks extension project. Cost of $3,500, I'd like to make a motion to approve that.
Second.
Okay, we have motion and a second on a Volker proposal, not to exceed 3,500. Any further discussion on that? Roll call with Eli.
Hey.
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 Hey,
hey,
Hey. Hey.
Okay, motion carries.
next item is the resignation from Aaron Lane. Make a motion, we accept his resignation.
second,
Okay, we have motion and a second for Aaron Lang's resignation. Any further discussion? Roll call with Dojon.
Hey.
Hey. Hey.
Hey,
hey,
Hey. Hey. Hey.
Motion carries.
next item is, like to approve authorization to as advertised for lineman position. But, good question, or,
Is that the motion?
I made a motion, yes.
Okay,
Second.
okay, so we have motion and a second. Okay, any further discussion on that?
Yeah, I guess, Josh, are we down a minor?
No, it's part of my succession planning with an upcoming retirement, would like to try and get the ball rolling to get it going, to get somebody going before a potential retirement coming up later this year.
Yeah, later this year.
Yes. So trying to get it going where we can get the process started.
The other discussion on that item? Hearing none, we'll roll call with Peel.
Hey. Hey.
Hey,
hey,
Hey.
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 Okay, motion carries.
next item is, a motion for approval of a candidate for open labor position.
Yeah, it'd be the, we did do the internal advertising for the open laborers position. I would like to make a recommendation that we would hire Max Walter. Effective May 18th. as presented. I have a drug screen, pending. He has to do the DOT drug testing, to get in our program, so that's the only other difference that, to get into the hiring is obviously already on board. The new pay scale would be after the first full pay period in May, so that's why I included what the new pay rate would be. There, what we've done in the past is then started them 50 cents lower for the probationary period. Till they get through the probationary period, and they can move to the full pay rate. So the recommendation would be starting at $23.15 per hour, effective May 18th. And then after completion of the 6-month probationary period, increase to full labor's pay rate, all pending the DOT drug test.
I'd like to make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to hire Max Walter as an open labor position with the option stipulated by Josh. Any further discussion on that? Your roll call with Parsons.
Hey.
Hey,
Hey.
Okay, motion carries.
Next item is an ordinance correction regarding public water supply, chapter 72-27.
There's just a wording issue in there, I guess whenever they copied and pasted over, Jill had brought this to my attention. But it just basically says, under that item B that's highlighted, it says the public water supply when, well, that shouldn't be in there because it's trying to stipulate there should be other items. That's basically copying what item C below had, it would just be stopping and just basically fixing the ordinance to remove that.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that I'll go ahead with the correction of the ordinance.
Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second for the ordinance correction for chapter 72-27. Any further discussion on that? Voting starts with Hebert.
Hey.
Motion carries.
Okay, next item is ordinance number 1579, a utility billing appeals process. So this has all been going through, so I'd like to make a motion we approve ordinance number 1579.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on ordinance 1579. Any further discussion on that? Roll call with Mueller.
hey,
Hey,
Motion carries.
that is all.
Good deal. Okay, next up will be zoning committee. We have an item.
Thank you, Mayor. First thing we have here is the Grove Business Park Phase 2, contract award. In your packet is the notice of the award to Galley Excavating and Construction Company or Incorporated. I'd like to make a motion to accept and award that contract.
I think you can probably roll the authorizations in that motion
Do
too,
them
right?
together. Okay, and authorization to sign documents for the mayor and the clerk to sign all related documents.
Motion, can we get a second?
Second.
Okay, motion and a second on the Redwood Business Park two, notice of award to Jelly Excavating and Construction for $1,139,387.93. Any further discussion on that? Roll call voting with Hanneman.
Hey.
Hey,
Okay, motion carries. I think that's it for zoning.
That's it.
Alrighty, up to recreational facilities. Anything on that, Kyle?
Nothing here.
Okay, planning commission, anything on that?
No.
Economic development, Rodney.
Yes, talked with the mayor this morning, we'll be able to forward that to all the board council members. So, Stuart Longer, that sits on the Economic Development Committee, has a contact. Actually, he's president of Dietrich Bank up in Dietrich. And that, probably almost 10 years ago now, they were having issues, they were losing enrollment in their schools. So they came up with the idea to try and purchase some farm ground around town, and they actually, city put the money forward to develop the property. And if you get the chance, it's a long video, it's almost 2 hours long if you watch the whole thing. But it is broken up into segments. They have an introduction, which is very interesting. They have a planner like our Farnsworth that sits and talks about, some of the processes they went through. A lot of the beginning of the video is about TIF. And then they get into the enterprise zone and how they use the enterprise zone to develop this and go. over this period, their school enrollment has risen 43%. It's amazing, and their school district is just ecstatic. They recognize that the three things that they really need to look at in the town to make it grow and keep it growing, believe it or not, were parks, number one. They just got a $2.1 million Owsley grant up there to develop their park. And they did it next to the school and built an open pavilion. I'm telling you some of the things in the video, but it's really interesting. And the school district actually uses the pavilions for classes and stuff outdoors. Business development, they actually use the enterprise zone to develop a new business park. And some of the major employers in the area stayed in the area because they offered them property to build new facilities and then housing, of course. They're actually on their third subdivision that they've developed right now. An interesting tidbit, to get the newest subdivision going, they actually had the local contractors build a brand new house and they auctioned it off for $25 a ticket. And the house was valued at $175,000 and they give the house away already. They sold over $250,000 worth of tickets and they auctioned the house off as a promotion to get the new subdivision rolling. It's very interesting if you can take the time and thumb through it. You can always fast forward on it and go through it. Our game plan is we forward this to the Economic Development Committee also. We're encouraging them to watch this before our April 22nd meeting. We are gonna have a meeting to discuss some of these ideas. And then the gentleman from Dietrich Bank has offered to come down and at a later meeting and answer any questions and kind of go through how they did this to develop it. And I thought it was very interesting at the beginning in the introduction, they said, we had no developers coming to town wanting to develop lots and we needed them badly. And that's how we went down and did this. So if you get a chance to watch it, it's very interesting. And again, economic development's gonna be working towards that a little bit and see if we can get something rolling.
Thank you. I hope your enthusiasm is throughout the group here this evening. So thank you for taking that on, Rodney. Okay, next, Parks and Recreation Committee. Looks like we've got one item there.
Yeah, this is just to approve members of the Parks Committee to be able to attend the chamber dinner. With the city to pay for their annual tickets. I would make that a motion for them to attend this year if they so want, if they want to go.
We have a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Yeah, we have a motion and a second to approve Parks and Rec Committee members to attend the annual chamber dinner. Any further discussion on that? Roll call with Demont.
Hey.
Okay.
Hey.
Hey.
And motion carries. Okay, that takes us through reports. There is no old business, so in new business. We have the calendar, so let's see, Siren should be tested tomorrow. Library board is Thursday evening the 9th. We're back here on the 20th for committee meetings at 6 p.m. Planning Commission, Jeff, do you see a need?
There will not be a meeting in April, there will be a meeting.
Okay, so we'll mark off the April, we'll plan for May. And then as Rodney just indicated, the 22nd is Economic Development Commission meeting here at 6 p.m. Any other changes, additions, anything? Okay. On from that. Next up, I would call for a motion to accept some library board changes as follows. Resignation of Deborah Elo and approval of Ashley Hentis and Jennifer Walker to the library board.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for library board changes. Any further discussion on that? Roll call voting with D-Boy.
Hey.
Hey,
Hey,
And motion carries. We are up to other comments. Anyone?
Yes, one thing, Mayor, just a reminder that this Sunday, well, at 1 p.m. is their scheduled outage on our 12K side. We have intended to be down for 1 to 2 hours, hopefully, with any luck, we might be out near that long. It's for some necessary repairs in the north substation down at the power plant.
That was a weather permitting.
Right, and looking at it as of right now, the rain is not until the evening, so it looks like we should be able to get it.
Okay. Any other announcements? I would just like to mention that we have launched the new Muni Code option on our website, which gives folks, the public included, access to our ordinances in a much different fashion, much more organized fashion. These are housed basically on the internet now. There's a beautiful search feature at the top of the page. You can put a word in there. It'll pull up any ordinance. I know, Jill, you want to add anything to that thought, or?
It's going to save you a lot of time.
Okay.
Enjoy.
I used it, and it's so nice because you also know that everything is completely up to date, whereas previously we would make changes and then make changes again to the same section, and so I had to go through ordinances and everything. I told Jill it's life changing, it's amazing, it's so nice, so try it out, everybody.
Good to hear. So change is some often, yeah, uncomfortable, but this is a great one. So wonderful. Any other comments from anybody else this evening? Be hearing none, I'll call for a motion to adjourn.
Second?
If we have motion second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. We stand adjourned at 6:20.